Yo, what is good YouTube? I am Richie Kim, and today I'm going to be bringing you all the performance review on the Nike GT Cut 3. Before we get started, if you all enjoy sneaker content just like this, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below, and also hit that bell notification button so you never miss another video just like this. But anyways, let's get right into it. As always, starting off with the traction, the Nike GT Cut 3 features a herringbone traction pattern, and this is like a slightly decoupled outsole. And the traction on here, for the most part, is actually really good. If you are playing on your clean courts, you are going to have absolutely zero issues. You're going to be able to stop on a dime. The traction is very, very good on those clean courts. If you are playing on your dustier courts though, just be careful. You might have some slides to a stop. So it's not really stop on a dime. It's more like stop on a quarter or maybe a $50 or something. Because this thing does pick up dust. Basically, how dusty your court is kind of determines how often or how aggressively you need to wipe. So I have had instances where I did slide to a stop and I wiped the shoes, but it didn't really wipe off all the dust. Sometimes you actually have to do some very aggressive wipes to get off all the dust, because the dust can get caked on. And even now, like, you can kind of see that there is dust still stuck on the actual grooves itself. So yeah, you know, sometimes you have to do some pretty aggressive wiping to get off the dust. But even then, you know, with minimal wiping, I never slid out. I would just slide to a stop. So you're at least, you know, you're not going to be sliding out or anything. But yeah, just be careful. If you are playing on your dustier courts, you will have to maintain wipes, and you might have to do some like pretty aggressive wipes, just depending on, you know, your court conditions. However, on those clean courts, you will be good to go. So moving on to the cushion, the GT Cut 3 features a full-length Zoom X foam setup with some kind of foam carrier around it. And the Zoom X in here is honestly pretty nice. It's pretty bouncy, but not overly bouncy. I would essentially compare it to something like a Zoom unit almost, but maybe not as bouncy as a like top-loaded Zoom unit. I would say it's like in between a top-loaded and a bottom-loaded Zoom unit. That's basically what it feels like, which is great, you know. You do get a lot of court feel, you get a decent amount of impact protection, and you feel very quick on your feet. And, you know, just by the name GT Cut 3, Nike says that this is made for people who like to do those sharp movements like cutting. And yeah, so the GT Cut 3, like I said, Zoom X foam, it feels great. If you are expecting a lot of impact protection though, I wouldn't say that this is the best. You do have, I would say, adequate protection in the heel and in the forefoot. It does feel very, very smooth as well. But if you are expecting some crazy, like super crazy cushion setup, this isn't it. This is definitely a more like low profile cushion setup that just feels very good under feet if you like to be quick and shifty. So moving on to the materials, the GT Cut 3 features a couple of different materials. You do have like a textile material, and then this also other textile material, which is basically felt, honestly. Yeah, the material usage on here, it's not great, especially for an expensive shoe like this. I really did wish that they used something nicer, because the price point definitely does not justify this material usage. In terms of the performance, I would say for the most part, it does get the job done, besides like one issue that I had. But yeah, you know, overall, the material usage on here from a quality standpoint is just not very good. It is very disappointing. But in terms of the performance, it kind of gets the job done. Like I said, you know, you do have like this felt material, and it wraps all the way up onto the tongue. You do have these like additionally padded areas which are like strategically cut out, and you can kind of see like where the laces go. It just doesn't feel great. It feels very cheap, honestly. But yeah, overall, the material usage, for me, I wish it was better. So moving on to the fit, I would say that the GT Cut 3 does run true to size. I'm a slightly wide footer. I went true to size, and I was okay for the most part. It does get a little bit like cramped up in this forefoot area. And there were times, so here's the thing about this shoe, right? You're gonna have to crank down the laces just to make sure you do get that nice snug fit. So the thing about this shoe is you do have to crank down the laces to kind of get that snug fit. And I had some times where I felt like my foot was gonna cramp up. You know, you get that feeling when this pain is just coming, and it's that cramping pain. And that I kind of sucked. But yeah, slightly wide footers, you might want to go up a half size. Wide footers for sure go up a half size. But I think if you have narrow feet or normal width feet, you should be good going true to size. The shoe is very snug once you crank down the laces. The material is like very nicely over the foot. You do have a very secure feeling in the shoe. So yeah, you know, overall the fit just a little bit narrow, so just watch out if you do have wider feet. But normal footers and narrow footers, you all should be good going true to size. So moving on to the support. This is where I thought the GT Cut 3 kind of was a little lackluster. So for me, I had very, very slight heel slippage in my right shoe. Even though you do have an internal heel counter and you do have like adequate padding and stuff, if I always have heel slippage, it's always in the right shoe for me. And yeah, in here, I did have just very, very slight heel slippage. So this might just be a personal problem. You all might not have this heel slippage issue, but that is just something to keep in mind. Another thing when it comes to the containment on the footbed, I also had some issues there as well. I did feel my foot slide around on the footbed just a little bit. There were times where let's say if you're running full speed and you plant, I did feel my foot kind of roll off the footbed, not to the point where I'm gonna like twist my ankle or anything like that, but you know, it's just that uneasy feeling that your foot is sliding off, and it's kind of, you know, it kind of irks you. But yeah, that's another issue that I had with the support in the shoe. And that's pretty much it though. You know, when it comes to the lateral stability, you do have a fairly wide base, and this outsole does protrude, which kind of acts as an outrigger. And when it comes to that torsional rigidity and stability, I wouldn't say that this is the most rigid shoe, but it is plenty enough. So you're covered on that front. So yeah, you know, for me, the GT Cut 3 support features were the most lackluster part of the shoe, obviously besides the materials. So yeah, overall the support for me just wasn't the best. So the GT Cut 3 retails for $190, and that is not a cheap shoe. This is very, very expensive, and for the price, I honestly would not recommend it, just because there are a lot of other cheaper shoes that are far better performers. But hey, you know, if this is something that you wanted to try out, you know, go for it. I'll leave a link for you down in the description box below. But yeah, you know, like I said, the traction, you're gonna have to watch out on dust, but on your cleaner courts, you're gonna be good to go. I really did like how the Zoom X felt in here. Was I expecting something crazy? Yes, because, you know, Zoom X is supposed to be like their top tier foam. But yeah, you know, it's nothing too crazy. I wish that the support on here was better, and I definitely wish that the material usage was better too. Because for $190, you just expect more, right? But yeah, you know, that's pretty much it for this performance review. If you all like this video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below, and also smash that thumbs up button for me, as it really does help me out. While you guys are at it, check out these videos over here, and that's pretty much it. Until next time,